a decision that generated that invitation.
So who is the speaker?
So get me right. I just said that then I didn't have the occasion of seeing and Speaker Kofa and invitation. I did see the one that came from the Ghanaian speaker inviting Moko as Speaker of the Liberian government to attend the inauguration of the new president.
Who do you recognize as Speaker of the House of Representatives?
I recognize whosoever the president of this country recognized as the speaker.
Who is the person?
Whosoever, you may be aware of the person.
I'm not there. I'm not in the house.
So, whosoever the government recognized as the speaker, I'm there to do my work, and I still remain firm with the issue of the rule of law. This part, I'm there to work along with whosoever I'm working with. But remember, president will live on.
Do you still recognize Funanti Kofa as Speaker of the House of Representatives?
If Funanti Kofa was the Speaker of the House of Representatives, then he should have been in conformity with the President of the Republic of Liberia. But he's not there.
So if in your words, he is not in conformity, who do you recognize as the speaker?
The one who the president recognized.
Who is he?
Clarence.
You know all your colleagues by name, small. I mean, why are you not bold?
I have called his name over and over again.
The people of District 3, I think they know you to be a bold guy.
Yeah, but they listen to me calling the name. Why do you want me to drag the name over and over again?
Can you please call? Let me hear it.
Who is the speaker? The present speaker with the 43 member of the House.
You tell
Richard
us.
Kuhn.
Okay.
Richard Kuhn is the speaker now. Okay. Whether we like it or leave it, Richard Kuhn is the speaker. That's the one the president accepts.
Who do you recognize as Speaker of the House of Representatives?
I recognize whosoever the president of this country recognized as the speaker.
Who is the person?
Whosoever, you may be aware of the person.
I'm not there. I'm not in the house.
So, whosoever the government recognized as the speaker, I'm there to do my work. Still remain firm with the issue of the rule of law.
Malaika I know the theme song is beautiful, and sometimes you just want to let it play on. But of course, this is the OK Morning Rush on OKFM 99.5. The time is 8 minutes past the 7 o'clock. Today is the 21st day of July 2026. The name is Marka Davis, the son of the late Baptist deacon. Welcome again to another edition of the OK Morning Rush from wherever you are joining us this morning. And I always used to do this, welcome people who are coming to Liberia for the first time. And how many of you are coming in or here already to celebrate the country's 179th Independence Day? If you are here, we want to say welcome to Liberia. This is our country. And to our wonderful silent listeners, all of you who are following us either by our Facebook page on the OKFM and TV, or if you are following us by radio this morning from whichever part of the country, we'd love to say good morning and welcome to the show. And to other, affiliate radio stations across the country relaying the show, we also want to say thank you very much for doing that and ensuring that our people in the rural parts of the country are also on top of information. So coming up shortly, we'll bring you the commercials as usual, followed by the continental update, or if you want to call it regional update. Go online to recognize those of you who have joined us by our page this morning. And of course, we encourage you to share so that many other people can listen as we bring you the national updates on issues happening in the country. And of course, we will talk about some of the pertinent issues happening in the country. One of the hottest topic making the news right now is the former finance minister's accusation against the vice president, talking about the vice president influencing the judge in the jury tampering case. That's a major point of discussion in the country right now. And of course, a lot of other things. The central bank, the Monetary Policy Committee also released their quarterly report. While we are not economists, we'll also at least provide some simple idea of what that report means. So we will do that and open the lines for interaction with our listeners. At 8 o'clock this morning, Councillor Luther Yoffie. Councillor Luther Yoffie will be with us 8 to 9 o'clock this morning. We'll be talking about a lot of things. He's the, rebuilders, the founder of the Liberia Rebuilding Party. He's also a legal mind who has opinion on many other issues happening in the country. This recent consultation and debate about, meant to amend the elections law, recommendation of increment in candidate registration fees and all of that. We'll talk about that up to 9 o'clock. At 9, the rubber folks return. So we will have the leadership of NAFO here. They are from the National Rubber Brokers and Farmers Union of Liberia. They still have some issues about the Executive Order 166 and the role of the Rubber Development Fund and that of the Rubber Planters Association of Liberia. So the President James Sekie and the Vice President Stanley Sewolo will be here again at 9 to 10 o'clock. So let's take this break now and go for the commercials right here on the OK Morning Rush on OKFM 99.5. So let's go for the commercials.
I say, my people, First National Savings and Loans Liberia not do it again. Oh, I say, my people, y'all listen. First National Savings and Loan Liberia not do it again. Oh,
But when I compu, why you shouting all around the place like you not found bank manager well so?
Namo, even if I found bank manager well, I would be very happy.
Like how now?
Because all the things that the First National Savings and Loans Liberia doing, it will really take away our stress. Oh.
In what way it will take away your stress?
Look, Namo, if you're looking for a good place to save your money you suffer for, or you want your money to receive good interest over a period of time, then go to the First National Savings and Loans Liberia. At First National Savings and Loans Liberia, you can open savings account, current account, church savings, SUSU savings, and mobile banking. You will get account SMS alerts right away, meaning as soon you save the money, you will get message on your phone right away that you not save the money.
So compu, the way you not do all the fancy then so what should do now if I want to open my own account?
Namo, when it comes to opening a saving account for church, school, and organization, you can call them and they can open the account for you right to your own house, school, church, or organization. If you want to pay your children's school fees, you can also do it when you call them too. Try to join them to make things easy for yourself.
I really missing good in you.
Also, First National Savings and Loans Liberia can offer you different ways to do what the poor people call fixed deposit, or to keep your money starting from 13% per annual, meaning per year, for Liberian dollars deposit, and 10.25% per annual, meaning also per year for United States dollars deposit, for what the poor people call fixed deposit. First National Savings and Loans Liberia. We are located on 10th Street, Sinker. Better still, you can call us on 0779 206 231 or 0886 027 466, and we will come to you. First National Savings and Loan Liberia is a microfinance deposit taking institution. At First National Savings and Loans Liberia, we put you and your business first.
We are brave. We are passionate.
Hey Tanu, I need cash and there is no ATM around here.
Really? Did you try the EcoBank POS?
POS? I said I need cash. What is it about POS?
Judy, you can get your cash through the POS. All you need to do is to visit any EcoBank Express point or petrol trade gas station and request to use the POS. Guess what? It can also take other bank cards.
Oh, widow, you mean cards from banks overseas too?
Yes, it should just be your Visa card.
Wow, great. So when there is no ATM around me, I'll just use the POS to get my money fast. EcoBank has made it too easy, man. EcoBank and innovation that real 5 and 6 so.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
LEC, yeah, LEC. Good morning, Mahawa. Thank God you're working with LEC and you are here. Mahawa, I get big problem, yeah. They finished stealing my LEC meter, yeah. I don't even know what to do.
Collie, don't worry. All you need to do is to go to the nearby LEC Customer Service Center or LEC Waterside office. And when you go there, you must carry a letter telling them that your meter was stolen. Tell them the main day they steal your meter, the meter number, the place you live in, your full name, and your phone number. Now, all you need to do.
What will happen when I carry the letter?
Good question, Cody. LEC gets some record there. They call them the LEC Customer Service Agent. They will take the letter and look at all the things that you put inside and quick, black or close that meter so nobody will be able to buy it or use it. Or when they put money on it, it will not work. If you don't report that your meter that was stolen, somebody will be using it. And if you were having money on the meter before they steal it, when they give your new meter, the money will still be on your meter, yeah, until you yourself you choose to use it when they finish.
Oh yes. Good news there. But the only way they steal the meter and they steal the LEC wire, then it will stop. Mahawa,
yeah, I
want to ask you, yeah, I want to put current in my new house. What am I do for LEC to help me to put current in our house?
Hey brother Cody, that one is a thing. Just go to LEC office and tell them that you won't quarry in your new house. They will give you one paper they call a application form. On that form, you will put your full name, the place you live in, your phone number, and put any of your ID, like number 1, national ID card, 2, passport, number 3, photos card, 4, driver lessons. The LEC people then will look at all the things in Google. When it correct, the LEC people then will send their workers with one paper called service order in your community to check good and see whether your new house get good wiring and installation for them to put current inside. Right after that, they will tell you how much you will pay to a bank account. If that's single phase meter, you will pay 79.10 USD. But on a 3-phase meter, you will pay $384.20 USD. When the finance people then see the money in their system, LEC will say, "Well, quick to put current in your new house."
I wonder, not bad at all. But man, I won't know again, if my meter stop working or I put money inside and I won't go, what do I gonna do?
My brother, that one is easy. You can report anything. I mean anything. Like you have to do with LEC business isa by going to LEC Customer Service Center, or you call LEC Call Center on 4500, or you send an email to customerservice@lecliberia.com, or you can even carry a letter telling them what happened to you, whether the meter stop working or you put money and the money can go. LEC will look at all the things that you put in your letter. Check it, Google. Then LEC will send workers quick to your house and change your meter or to show you how to do it.
Thank you plenty, Mahawa. They say anything you don't know, a people pass you.
Oh, yeah.
I know what to do now.
Oh, okay, well, let's see, Okwadi. LEC is committed to providing reliable service and supporting every customer. LEC is committed to providing reliable service and supporting every customer. Report problems promptly and follow the proper procedure for faster assistance.
Liberia Electricity Corporation, powering Liberia, serving you better.
A message from the Liberia Electricity Corporation, LEC.
They make the light shine so bright. I tell you, yeah. LEC. Fellow Liberian, my fellow Liberian.
The Liberia Revenue Authority, LRA, informs all taxpayers and the general public of the ongoing registration exercise for medium and large taxpayers in preparation for the transition to the value-added tax VAT regime. The registration process includes the deployment of an electronic invoicing system in accordance with Section 55C of the Revenue Code of Liberia as amended and the Income Tax EFD regulation. All concerned taxpayers are encouraged to register online on the LRA website www.lra.gov.lr by clicking on the Online Services tab, selecting GST or VAT registration, and completing the registration process. A team from the LRA will visit your premises to provide support for the registration process. Taxpayers are strongly advised to fully cooperate with the LRA registration teams to ensure successful registration and smooth deployment of the electronic invoicing system. Failure to comply with the registration requirements may result in penalties as prescribed under the amended Revenue Code, including other punitive measures. Please note that pursuant to the Liberia Tax Amendment Act of December 2025, approved on March 24, 2026, the Goods and Services Tax GST rate has been adjusted from 12% to 13% as part of efforts to facilitate a smooth transition to the value-added tax VAT system in 2027. For more information, visit the LRA website www.lra.gov.lr or call 0770-572-572. Signed, Margaret P. Crote, Commissioner, Domestic Tax Department.
People, they were not easy. The government of Liberia, through the Liberia Traffic Management, says all vehicles, which means kekes, motorbikes, and all types of cars that are not insured, must be insured under the compulsory third-party liability insurance policy. Yeah, but here is the good news. Secure Risk Insurance Company, a 100% Liberian-owned insurance company, finished making everything easy, yeah, my people. When it comes to our cars, kekes, and motorbike business, Secure Risk Insurance Company can insure all our cars, motorbikes, and kekes in just 20 minutes, no wasting time. Secure Risk Insurance Company is located at the corner of Broad and Lynn Streets. For quick access, just send us your car information on WhatsApp and we'll get it insured and delivered to you without extra cost. My brothers and sisters, stop wasting your time and get all your insurance work done in just 20 minutes. My people, Secure Risk Insurance Company Incorporated is a composite insurance company, meaning they can do plenty different kind of insurance, such as life insurance. Life insurance include group life and medical insurance, individual life insurance, etc. Non-life insurance. Non-life insurance include motor third-party insurance, motor comprehensive insurance, fire and burglary, marine insurance, goods in transit insurance, cash in transit insurance, and public liability insurance, etc. My people, to get in contact with Secure Risk Insurance Company, it is very easy, yeah. Just call 0777-015-662, 0886-562-865, or 0886 513-287, and our WhatsApp numbers are 0777-015-662 and 0770-297-376. With Secure Risk Insurance Company Incorporated, all your insurance.
Good news to all travelers in and out of Liberia. Sumahoro Transport Service, ST, has introduced new fleets of buses in Liberia to take travelers from Monrovia directly to Ghana, Abidjan, Guinea, and Sierra Leone. We can also do connections for our passengers to Lomé, Cotonou, and Lagos, as well as Bamako, Dakar, Banjul, Kankan, Madiana, and Labe. We carry valuable items to your loved ones through our courier service. We also have delivery service to your various destinations upon arrival in Monrovia. We have taxi service to and from our parking station to your home. Please come to our red light office opposite Zone 9 Depot Police Station or call 0775 908830 0886 0555 558801 for bookings. ST is here to serve you.
Your cars, generators, and other machines can last much longer when you use the right kind of petroleum products to power your engines. Sunek Group, located on Bushwood Island, is dealer and distributor of high-quality petroleum products across Liberia at available prices. At Sunek Group, we sell and distribute high-quality petrol, gas, and diesel fuel to fueling stations across the nation. Our highly trained, professional, and customer-friendly staff are always waiting and ready to serve you. We deliver your petroleum products to your destinations on time. No worries. Power your engines with the right kinds of petrol, oil, and gas today and save time and money. Come to Sunek Group, your one-stop distributor of high-quality petrol, oil, and gas. We are located in a BMC building opposite UBA Bank, just a block away from LPRC on Bush Road Island. For more information, call 0777-062-441 or 0886-473-164. Sunek Group, spinning the wheels of oil and gas in Africa.
The Banking Institute of Liberia, BIL, the training arm of the Liberia Bankers Association, LBA, and the Central Bank of Liberia, CBL, announces the commencement of its professional training program in the following categories. Professional development training. These targets graduating seniors and degree holders. Courses offered: banking and finance, audit and internal controls, procurement and contract management logistics, and supply chain management public accounting and finance, monitoring and evaluation, M&E compliance and corporate risk management, human resource and customer relationship management, project management, business analytics, data analysis and management using Power BI, SPSS, and Excel, ethics and corporate governance project proposal writing. Duration, 3 months. Tuition, $275. Business development training. The Banking Institute of Liberia also offers training for high school graduates and college students in business accounting and microfinance management, small and medium enterprise development, and management office administration and business communication. Duration, 2 months. Tuition, $205. All our fees are payable in 3 installments. Training programs at the Banking Institute of Liberia are facilitated by experienced lecturers with practical experience, including bank executives and financial experts. BIL is committed to providing professional training to its clients at international standards. For more information, visit the Institute office at the intersection of Warren and Carey Streets, in the old microfinance building of the Central Bank of Liberia. Banking Institute of Liberia, the center of excellence in banking and financial management training.
Liberia, get ready for the biggest night of comedy, fun, and unforgettable laughter. Friday, July 17th, join One Star Entertainment in collaboration with Divine.
Kebe, 2 of us from this town. I call you here to ask you about what we can do to make our tradition succeed.
Dede, the only thing we can do is to put here on the Women and Girls Protection Act, yeah? With this act, our traditional people will know our girls' rights and they will stop female circumcision.
Liberia's unique culture is our pride, but harmful practices must end.
A message from the Association of Female Lawyers of Liberia, AFL.
Of course, welcome back to the OK Bonnie Rush on OKFM 99.5. We broadcast from Lynch Street here in central Monrovia. The name is Marka Davis, and of course, we are here up to 10 o'clock this morning. Let's go for regional update. 8 worshippers die in crutch at Burundi preachers gathering. 8 people died and 9 others were injured in a crush during an evangelical gathering in Burundi's largest city, Bujumbura. Saturday's tragic incident happened at a school where prominent Burundian preacher Chris Ndukumana was appearing at the event attended by thousands of people. Eyewitnesses and the police said a wall at the exit gate collapsed as worshippers hustled to leave the venue as the preaching ended late at night, with some being trampled in the crutch. Neither the preacher man nor the event organizers have publicly commented on the incident, according to the BBC. There were so many people and everyone wanted to leave at the same time, a teacher told the AFP news agency. It was late at night. The teacher from the senior technical school of Kamengi, the venue of the gathering, added. In a statement, police said King Kale Hospital in Bujumbura recorded 6 deaths, 5 females and a male, with 4 others being treated there. 2 other deaths were recorded at a military hospital where 5 patients were treated. The police said 2 people showed physical injuries, with the rest having no signs of trauma, suggesting suffocation as being the main cause of death and injuries. The preacher man, whose YouTube channel has more than 1 million subscribers, leads the Kanguka ministry and often attracts huge crowds for his services in several African countries. Some of his followers believe he can cure diseases through prayers. Crutches during religious events are not uncommon on the continent. At least 20 people died in 2020 in neighboring Tanzania during an outdoor religious service as attendees rushed forward to be anointed with blessed oil. Well, this is the regional update so far. Let's see some of you who have joined the broadcast, and let me welcome you, on board. Thanks for joining us this morning. Let's go to our Facebook page to recognize you who have joined us this morning on the OK Morning Rush here on OKFM 99.5. The first batch of our followers this morning, Lavito Benjamin Koma Pewala Jr. says, good morning, I'm following from Rwanda this morning. Abel Newman Plaki is also following. He says, good morning, son of the late Baptist deacon. He says he's following he says he's following closely. Thanks for service to country, he says. Abu Sisi is also following. J. Africano Nimle has joined us as well. Gabriel Slobber is also following this morning. Tume M. Robinson has joined. Romeo Soko, Frederick Salive, Darlington Rue is following as well. Daniel Tante, Matthew Tobe is following. Silas N. Wanye has joined us, it says, from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Romeo Shannon is also following from Johnsonville, Duja College Community. He says Zoyu Elijah is following this morning. It says from the center point of Lufa County. Also, Joseph Bole Ndebe is also joining the broadcast. Ishaka Mayamun Sharif is also following. Abbott M. Tawen Jr., Sadie Myers, Lawrence Atolua Moa is also following from Bushra Island. Chusu M. Soare has joined us from Grand Cape Mount County. Jacob Mwakwe is also following. Martina Mullenberg says, good morning. Roland Kofa is following from UAE. He says, Dubai. Robert Ngone, Tatos, Ketor, Thomas, that's Amos 12 Peking Foley has joined. Jeremiah Wea is following as well. Chusino Chuku Williamson is following. Prince Tambanyuma is also following this morning. Jeremiah Bajuwe is following from New York City. He says Ben Cooper Jr. Amos Beto is following from Beto Island in Lower Johnsonville Township. Momo Fambule is also following. Thanks for joining. We said Tichie, thanks for joining as well. So you can share the show and allow others to also follow this morning. Thanks for joining. We cannot recognize all of you. Just before we start with our talking points this morning, this public service announcement from the Liberia Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, or LITI. It says the Liberia Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative has begun preparing Liberia's 17th and 18th EITR reports for fiscal years 2024 and 2025 under the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative standard. Implementing countries must report annually. This initiative aims to enhance transparency and accountability in Liberia's extractive industries. To prepare the report, the LERTR Secretariat has hired KFA Consults Liberia in collaboration with Osalis from Tunisia as the independent administrator. Given the above, the LERTR Secretariat seeks the full cooperation of all reporting institutions, that is, companies and government institutions, in executing this task. As this report is crucial, the multi-stakeholders group has mandated the Secretariat to use Regulation 001 and the LETI Act to enforce compliance, especially during data collection. As part of its enforcement measures and in line with Regulation 001 and the LETI Act, the Secretariat will submit the list of delinquent companies and government institutions to the National Legislature and the Office of the President and publicly name and shame them. Meanwhile, LETI Secretariat will shortly commence disseminating its 16th summary report throughout the country. The dissemination of this summary report is a vital requirement under the ERTR standard. It equips citizens with factual data to strengthen public debates, promote a culture of transparency and accountability between the government and citizens, and between citizens and extractive companies, and reduce conflict in affected communities. Signed, the LETI Secretariat. Yes, so far so good, that announcement from the LETI for the public. So let's go now to see some of the things to talk about briefly. The Central Bank of Liberia, especially the Monetary Policy Committee, on Monday released its monetary policy report, quarterly monetary policy reports, and the committee, that is the Monetary Policy Committee at the Central Bank, or sitting at the Central Bank of Liberia, is the highest decision making body within the central bank, and it is responsible for making decisions about the country's monetary policy. That is how money, interest rates, and inflation are managed to keep the economy stable. So that is the function, or that is what the policy or the Monetary Policy Committee is. And what they do is they regularly review the state of the Liberian economy and decides whether to raise or lower the monetary policy rate, which influences interest rates charged by commercial banks. They also control inflation so that prices of goods and services do not rise too quickly. They also support economic growth by creating conditions that encourage investment and job creation. They maintain financial stability by ensuring the banking system remains sound and resilient. That's what the Monetary Policy Committee sitting at the Central Bank of Liberia does. It also reserve requirements, that means determining how much money commercial banks must keep with the CBL instead of lending out. You understand that? So it determines how much money the commercial banks can lend or give out, and also how much they should keep with the Central Bank of Liberia. Sometimes just in case there are problems, so that customers can still be able to get their money back. So of course it is made of senior executives of the Central Bank of Liberia and some stakeholders from the within the economy. Of course, the executive governor is the chair. So let's look at the maybe the simplest form, we who are not economists, the simplest form that we can interpret what the latest quarterly report says. So there were a few decisions made from the report by the committee. One, it said mean interest rate as or the mean interest rate has reduced or has been reduced by 16 point or from 16.25% to 16.0%. So think of this as the price commercial banks pay when borrowing money from the Central Bank of Liberia. A lower rate can eventually make it cheaper for businesses and individuals to borrow money from banks, although lending rates may not fall immediately. So we're trying to banks must still keep the same amount of money. The banks are still required to keep, that was one of the key decisions, that banks must still keep the same amount of money in reserve. Banks are still required to keep 25% of Liberian dollar deposits and 10% of US dollar deposits with the central bank. So nothing changed from the previous quarter. This, in simple explanation, will help ensure that banks have enough money available and protects the financial system. The central bank also adjusted how it lends money and accepts deposits from commercial banks. This is merely a technical change. That one I can't explain it too well. Okay, so the central bank believes inflation, the rate at which prices increase, is expected to remain relatively low, around 4.4%, because prices are becoming more stable. It can slightly reduce interest rates to support economic growth without risking high inflation. So the bank projected from the report that inflation rate will remain around 4.4%. And inflation rate that we say is what the rate at which prices increase. Okay, what it means for us, the ordinary people, prices of goods should remain relatively stable if inflation stays low. Businesses may find it slightly easier to borrow money to expand, which could create more jobs over time. Consumers may eventually benefit from lower borrowing costs, although banks are not required to reduce their loan interest rates immediately. So the central bank is trying to strike a balance between keeping prices under control and helping the economy to grow. So this is the latest, or the way I find to explain how the central bank's latest decision in the quarterly report from the Monetary Policy Committee can be, explained in my own little man way to the Liberian people. So let's go to this latest issue in the country with the former finance minister. His right out, I will find it, where he is accusing the government, especially the vice president, of influencing the judiciary against him. So this is what he wrote as posted here on OKFM page. He said, if you ask anyone on social media today, they will probably tell you that Samuel Tuer is one of the most honest politicians in Liberia. I don't know how to lie, so I will tell the truth. Was it the first one? Okay. Is this the first one? Well, let me find the first one. I have to find the first. No, the first one he wrote. Yeah, I won't go for that particular one. Now there's follow-up. Not a follow-up. So, sorry, I try to lay my hands on it because I want to be clear with what I want to say. I want to be clear with what I want to say. So, I'm sorry. Let me try to find it. Let me try to find exactly what he said. So, again, it is important that we respect what the court is doing. Of course, you are aware that the verdict is not out yet. However, when we are discussing this, we will do it in a way that it doesn't in any way go around the what a court decision may be. So this is what he wrote on yesterday. And he said, breaking. Vice President Jeremiah Kun has instructed Judge Usman Fekai to overturn a verdict of acquittal on a bogus and spurious allegation of jury misconduct, though the judge finds no evidence linking me or my lawyers to any misconduct, with whatever that means. Over the last month, the government has been deadlocked on what many in the government and some justices on the Supreme Court bench consider an unprecedented overreach that will doom the judiciary. These patriotic voices had told the government that, quote, we cannot destroy the judiciary because of Samuel Twe. The man won his case, and it would be dangerous to overturn a jury verdict when recently Abdullah Kamara's verdict of acquittal was unanimous. It shows the government is witch hunting and cherry picking in corruption cases, unquote. In response, VP Kun told the justices and others concerned that, quote, winning election is more important for their government than protecting the rule of law, unquote. My intelligence informs me that the final decision was handed to Judge Fekai last Thursday after a lengthy government discussion on the pros and cons, and after a national security assessment. Well, let's see whether Judge Fekai obeys the tyrannical order or protects the judiciary and the rule of law in this ruling tomorrow. That is today. As for me, Samuel Twe continues, the ruling tomorrow has no bearing since 9 patriotic jurors have already delivered their verdict, declaring me a free man based on the evidence presented to them. When that decision was announced in court, I cried to celebrate their courage and patriotism. I shed those same tears after the camera, or before the camera, at a press conference, moved by the fact that 9 ordinary Liberians could withstand the pressures and promptings from a monstrous and furious government. Judge Fekai has only one option, and that is to issue my certificate of freedom tomorrow. If he refuses, I will submit it. I will submit to no bogus political trial violation of rights. I am a free man. They wanted to make me a, quote, criminal. They can now have me as a freedom fighter, he says. We in Liberia have ended autocracy. These diabolical antics could happen in the 80s or 90s when Liberia straddled autocratic governance, where the political wishes and caprices of presidents became the law. With the deaths of Gabriel Pole, Jackson Abdo, Tonia Richardson, and Wiwi Deba, among hundreds of thousands of other martyrs, Liberians inaugurated true or rule-based social and political order. The law is bigger today than the whims of any president or vice president. So if Judge Fekai or Chief Justice Wesse cannot stand up to manipulations and interferences from Vice President Jeremiah Kun and others of his ilk, bent on plunging Liberia into chaos for the sake of winning elections, of course Samuel D. Twe Jr. is potent enough to do that bidding. Now the Liberians know I was falsely accused and I'm a free man and a political target of the, he says, reckless mission. I welcome this political fight. Bring it on, he says. So this is exactly what he wrote. A lot of reaction has come up, and then later on he wrote another one naming how he spent money on the vice president's father's funeral, gave personal, I think he said 50,000, another 50,000 to support his senatorial bid in Nimba, and how after the vice president won the election, he has only been able to give his summit to only $3,500 US. I mean, all this one, he said he's an honest person. He's the most honest politician in Liberia. So again, time is always of essence, but what do you make of two things I've talked about? I talked about the central bank's quarterly report on the economy. They said they talk about inflation and other things, the monitor the interest rate and all of that. Now the Samuel Toure issue with the vice president, accusing the vice president. We're not going to merit of the matter. The court will make this decision today. However, just do you think these things are actually happening? That the executive is interfering with the judiciary to the extent of the vice president giving out such a mandate to the judge, who is an independent actor in the government, protected by tenure. And the exact reason why they are protected by tenure, so that they cannot be manipulated, they can be influenced. Do you think, having even seen the judge having even ruled on the matter, or hasn't ruled on the matter, do you think the former finance minister is trying to buy public sentiment in his favor? Do you think these claims that giving money for campaign, giving money for father's funeral, and all these other claims, are they timely? Why now? And all of these other questions will come about. But I listened to the news this morning, and one commenter or one of our followers wrote and said, OK News just is reporting an allegation made by the former finance minister. We didn't just report an allegation made by finance minister. We officially contacted the office of the vice president, and through the person who's supposed to get it directly. And if they tell you we are doing consultation, we'll respond to the issue without giving any clear timeline, you think we were in any wrong? No. So we did exactly what was right about contacting the office of the vice president, and then they said they're having consultation at the top levels, and they will respond at the appropriate time. No timeline given, so we reported. So we have just we can just take some calls. If we expect to see Councillor Luther Yofi once he comes in, we will go ahead to start his interview. But let's take some calls this morning. These are some of the issues. The Independence Day is right around the corner. Liberians are preparing, even Liberians outside of Liberia are preparing to celebrate the country's independence. This year it is being taken. I don't know, somebody can give us information whether since former President Salif did the rotational celebration decades ago, whether we have been rotating. I can't really remember. Is this the first time we are taking the Independence Day celebration outside of Montserrat since that time? But yes, Bassa, and sincerely, let me admit, Bassa is preparing for the occasion. And in a very special way, I want to say thanks to the superintendent of Grand Bassa County. I did that the other day, and I'm doing it again. Bassa is getting a regional facelift. Yes, so, and Buchanan is already my favorite city, and then the superintendent and the local administration there is doing extremely well, creating beautiful places in the area. Oh man, we're going Buchanan Umba. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name, where you join us from?
In Remy Thomas F. Joseph calling from Johnsonville, Beletante, number Thomas Orado County.
Okay.
Yeah, let me appreciate you this morning, Marka, for your talking point. As you said, what Samuel Toure want to get sympathy for whatsoever have happening concerning about the allegation of against him or concerning about the stolen thing that he had in the past. for me, I look at his point he has made. I think he want to give us sympathy. Because if you, Sarah, jury come up with a ruling and at the end of the day, something happen in a way, say, unless certain thing they had there is not correct. And they have not come up, the judges having come up with a particular ruling, whether you have the ruling that coming up, whether so and so he have changed the jury verdict, then you come up and just come and speak. And for me, wow, I think he is well for whatsoever that happened, because when they are called in that room to be able to come up and continue about the jury, he was there. So maybe he has suspected thing that maybe is coming up of today, whatsoever ruling that will come up. Maybe he is already happy. We have been getting the ruling for it to be able to go back and for them to go through all the investigation again. So maybe he has suspected thing like that, so that why he just come up to be able to keep us sympathy that and they just want to wish home. You know, they wish home. They have started from the beginning, so they wish home. I think for me, I don't care. If you are done a wrong thing to be able to see to take on the Labrampo money and they have come up, so you are even crying, they cry, you say, oh, they will wish on you. When the wish card can be haunted through the whatsoever you have done. So thank you very much, the money for it, talking point the money, Marka.
All right, thanks for joining the conversation. Let's go for, we cannot do this. Let's go for this one.
My name is David S. Cooley, calling from Benson Street.
Okay.
Yeah, let me tell you, that thing the man talking, the caller talking, you know, make no sense. Because in the sense that
So stop attacking other callers and make your point. So make the sense that get the sense from out of you and leave other people.
Yeah, but the thing Samuel wrote, let the maker or let the bar president of the cast clear and tell all that what Samuel say. But in Monaco, you not judge.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead.
And good morning to the peace-loving people of Liberia.
Okay.
My name is Benedict Nyeswa, and I joined the conversation from my local resident.
Okay.
Quickly, to the issue of Samuel Square. On the question of the friend, this is the judicial system that he being tested, and this, if you see confidence that yes, indeed, the process was genuine and then genuine, he has to himself. Let the court take his decision. He shouldn't be afraid. Why in 14? If you know that his hands are clean, let him let the process flow. But the fact of the matter here is this: the fact that the head of the entirety of that corruption case, that entirety, the head of it is Samuel 12. How can a ruling comes out from a juror wherein the head of that identical corruption case being validated, and then the people who are in the center and at the tail being found guilty? Doesn't make any sense to Samuel 12. I think Samuel 12 needs to put himself together and let the process go on, because he shouldn't be crying far around that indeed the entire process has been influenced by the vice president. He should be accusing the vice president if he knows fully well that the identical process is in favor, if he knows that he never played any part. Let the process flow. Let him keep making noise around and giving the vice president 50,000, giving him 30,000. That's his own good way. It's not forced and it's not bad that good to be reciprocated.
Okay.
I think somebody need to give the people a chance to do their work.
Okay.
Thank
you. Let me take this final one. Councillor Yofi is here already. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Let me say good morning to the Labran people following the broadcast this morning. This is the Sosa, and I'm Joe the Sosa from the community. Love, Marka, the political intimidation and the interference into our justice system in this country is perpetually killing the justice system.
Are you saying people accusing people of doing it, or you have proof that people are doing it?
Marka, you do not need rocket scientists to tell
you. You mean you do not need?
Listen. The last time we observed the president, when the Supreme Court came up with a decision that the legislature was in error and they should follow the Supreme Court ruling. There's the same president that says you will do business with the majority. Then why will a vice president obey or not interfere into the justice system. If it's boss, the president can disobey the Supreme Court order. So if the perpetual interferences into our justice system is crumbling the justice system, and there's no farm for the country to break the democratic tenets of our country is very disturbing. The vice president need to stop. The vice president need to stop, my brother.
Okay. Anyway, I don't know whether he's doing it until it's proving. So, yeah. So let me just do this quickly. Morning.
Good morning, Marka.
Morning.
Well, thank you. My name is Abel Flaki, son of the late Baptist Deacon. Thanks for this opportunity. I think we need a lot of education in this country. One former Defense Minister, Brandon Samuka, went through the process and was convicted and was asked to remit or pay back the money. There was nothing that was referenced as witch hunt. This is a normal legal process. A verdict was handed down, but later something sparked out to say, no, what was handed down, something transpired. Let's retry this case, because somebody said, isn't that good for Samuel to own credibility? He doesn't even know the verdict that will come out. You went through a process. Let's do it the layman way. This man is the man that is responsible for the fiscal and process of our country. And, you authorize, you disburse, you receive. People who were advisors, like the security advisor, and other people who were part of the case, were the ones set free. But you who disburse, you who authorize, you sat over the country budget. And then now president said you were free. But some of those same people who say you were free said, oh, some people gave up money or some people call up. Doesn't that look good for you, Mr. Twe, for your own credibility or integrity, for this case to be served as one? What is it that the name of the vice president told is so sweet? Everything that happened in the country, everything that happened, Jeremiah come. Why is it that everything that happened, some of the things that happen in the country, Jeremiah come. When it happened, Jeremiah come.
Thank you.
I mean, we need a lot of education in this country so people can understand the way we are engulfed with politics in our country. Everything must be politicized. I think Samuel Twe need to listen, need to follow the process and start using all of these adjectives that will take you nowhere.
Okay. I said something yesterday. It will come a time that we will be requiring people to even prove comments that they will make on people's Facebook posts, because people, a lot of, and we will require that even when stakeholders in the country make claims, like for example, you accuse people, then we will ask you, I mean, the same way you are making the information available, the accusation, just why on social media, just print the evidence to on social media, and then we'll hold the person and say, yes, that's true. That's what the person did. And that conversation between the vice president and the judge, on whether WhatsApp or phone recording, when we play, we say, oh, yeah, the vice president is actually doing this, or the former finance minister is doing this, or the finance minister is doing this. The same way the accusations are being made and publicized, let them be coming with the evidence too, so that people can believe. Because sometimes somebody will tell me this, all the sanctions and things, while some can be thoroughly investigated, but consistent media report of or accusations against you can also influence some of these decisions. But we'll be holding people to bring proof of allegations they will be making against people, even Facebook post, comment, media appearances and claims. People will have to be proving them so that we can set the record straight. But Councillor Luther Yoffe is here. I've been trying to bring him on for some time now, 2 weeks, but he's here now, so I will join him and say good morning. Councillor, it's great to have you this morning. Thanks for beating the traffic to be here.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
It's been a very long time. I remember we did one interview at Troop FM some time ago. I think around 2023. Yeah.
Yeah.
How's everything?
Thank God I'm okay.
Okay. After 2023 being a while, I know why you're a politician, but I can say for maybe you are in, quiet. The politics is still a little bit quiet. I mean, yeah, especially from your ongoing terms of political campaign activities, isn't that we gone past it? How was the experience?
Well, we have a very good experience of what electoral activities are in Liberia, even though some of those experiences are not good, and there is a need to make or to bring about some reforms. But at the same time, it was worth it being a part of the process. But we came in 4 months. The election commission certificated our party 4 months to the election. At that time, the whole country was cut off. No road leading to any county. What could you do in 4 months to elections? So we only used that period as an introduction to the Liberian people, and now we are getting ready. But on the other hand, why are we quiet? We are one of the proponents of the fact that the country should not be noisy because you want political power. We should allow the winning party to lead, to showcase what they have for the Liberian people. But every step the government takes, somebody must criticize. Whether or not the step is in the right direction, you just criticize because why? You want political power. We see they in a different direction. So we should allow the government to lead. The country should be peaceful, to give investors the chance to come in if the government makes the necessary arrangement and makes the governing environment secure for investors to come, let them come. But we should not be the one creating chaos to prevent investors from coming to our country to invest, and then at the end of the day, only because we want political power. No. We should allow the government to lead. We should make sure the country is as peaceful and calm as possible in order for investors to see the country as an attractive area to come and invest.
Do you see anything, or whether it is policy, leadership style, administration, or structure within this current governing or the current administration that one way or the other align with the value of Councillor Luther Yorfi or the vision of the Liberia Rebuilding Party?
Of course, we see some values, especially so with the president's commitment to ensure that there is paid role around the entire country. We see the effort in the right direction, and we highly applaud that, except that there are some shortcomings, but we don't want to dwell on the shortcomings, but rather we want to applaud the government for the steps in the right direction.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about, a party, then we'll jump to, was there a trial in 2023? Is this something intentional? What does the Liberia Rebuilding Party stand for?
This was, and even now, a well-intentioned decision to intervene in the political arena of the Republic of Liberia. Because look, the old political elite have run out of ideas completely. You see, our forefathers were so prognostic to enshrine in the Constitution that every elected leader will have not more than 2 terms. The rationale behind that is that after a certain time of leadership, you run out of ideas, and it becomes just appropriate for a new group with new ideas to come in. But what we are looking at now is the other way around. When people get into power, they don't want to leave again. They create circumstances and bottlenecks to prevent other political parties from ascending to political leadership, which is very wrong. But our experience, as we said earlier, in the political arena was well intentioned. As we said earlier, you are certificated 4 months to election. What can you do? But notwithstanding, with that limited time, we're able to sell our ideas, and out of 20 candidates, we came 12. That shows that our ideas were very, very germane, and the Liberian people, to some extent, bought our ideas. But wait for 2029, and you will see the difference.
Wait for 2029, you will see the difference. He's former presidential candidate in the 2023 elections, Councillor Luther Yoffe here, my guest. So yes, we'll talk about a lot of other things. So someone is concerned, what distinguishes your party from, for example, I heard you talk about the old political order. Now the leaders are now going other ideas. There's a need of fresh, blood, if I may call it. So what distinguishes the Liberia Rebuilding Party from the Unity Party, the CDC, the ANC, the LPP, and other political parties in the country?
Thank you very much. You see, the Liberia Rebuilding Party is a visionistic party that is geared toward rebuilding the Republic of Liberia from a different perspective, from a different horizon. We look at things differently from the old order of politicians. For them, they speak about political activities only on the periphery. We will build schools. We will build hospitals. Or we'll build farm to market roads. They don't tell you the details. They don't tell you the step-by-step approach they will engage into in order to achieve those ends. For us in the Liberia Rebuilding Party, when we tell you we intend to do A, B, or C, we don't stop on the periphery. We get to the nitty-gritty. We gave you the step-by-step approach that we intend to take, and how those step-by-step approaches will lead us to a desired result. An approach that you yourself will be able to examine, and you will be able to analyze as to whether or not our ideas, our vision are actually achievable. And this makes us different from the rest of the political parties.
So in line with that particular comment, what have you done differently?
What have we done differently? Well, we have not been given the leadership of this country yet. We have not been put in the position to lead, but we are preparing ourselves for this. We have our programs. We have our platforms. And mind you, pretty soon we'll be launching our political platform to sell to the Liberian people, and you will be invited to that program. And by the time we do that, you will be amazed that a political party so new could come up with such a blueprint that is so unique for the Republic of Liberia. So what we have done differently, we have not been given the opportunity, but look at the ideas we have been postulating over a period of time. Many of the ideas that the present Unity Party is dwelling on emanated from us. For example, we discussed during the last election that the Ministry of Information at the time, Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism, was only focusing on governmental propaganda, and the aspect of tourism and culture were going nowhere. They were even dying. Look, our culture in this country. Our culture is dying. Most of our children in the urban area cannot even speak their own dialect. Our culture, we are not paying attention. So we postulated at the time, if we are successful in winning the leadership of this country, we will detach cultural affairs and tourism away from the Ministry of Information, so that the Ministry of Information can focus on government activities and propaganda and the rest of it, and culture and tourism can thrive on a separate. And they bought our idea, they began to implement it even now, and that was not all. We also postulated that in order for reconciliation to thrive in this land, we have to take a retrogressive step to the past and try to cover up some of the mistakes before coming to the present. For example, we stated that there were 2 presidents who were violently assassinated in this country. President Samuel Doe and Tolbert. And we said we needed to excavate their bodies and give him befitting state funeral in order to set the pace for national reconciliation. And this government bought that idea. In fact, they even implemented it. And you know, so many ideas we have discussed that they have inculcated into their agenda. But that is some of the reasons why we are around. To lend our ideas to the present government so that they can capitalize on for the betterment of the Republic of Liberia. But wait, when the Liberia Rebuilding Party takes over the realm of this country, you will see developmental all over this country that you will be amazed of.
Okay, that sounds good. I saw your election record. You know, the 2023 presidential election record. You somewhere around 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Where are we? Okay, 6,479, 0.35%.
Just in 4 months.
In 4 months.
Just in 4 months.
Okay. Yeah, so now, quite recently, we understand there is ongoing consultation about electoral reforms, and that's one of the key issues I wanted for you to talk about. We saw the former vice president went from several radio stations, had some interviews, and maintained that in order to ensure that people who come to leadership, you know, they are intentional, and that, I mean, leadership is not just cheap. We should raise registration fees for even candidates and different other policy issues you talk about. But firstly, on a general note, what do you make of electoral reform now?
Let me be very frank with you. Electoral reform is needed. But the direction of the reform is egotistic, is narcissistic, because those proponents of the idea of reform are people who want to perpetuate themselves in power. And so they are propagating ideas that will suppress grassroots political parties in order to perpetuate themselves in power. For example, when you come up with ideas the registration fee for presidential candidate should be 25,000. What you are trying to do, you are trying to defeat the intent of democracy. Because you see, democracy, as we all define, is power by the people, for the people, and of the people. Democracy should be a competition of free ideas. But what they are trying to do, they are trying to stagnate the process of democracy around a selected few. They want democracy should be for the highest bidder. So in other words, if you are poor and you cannot afford the fees, then you stay away. So only the elite who have been able to prey on the resources of this country to their personal aggrandizement should be the ones to remain around the corridor of power. And then they talk about other political parties being in plastic, their political parties, in order to antagonize these political parties that are upcoming. But that is not the case. The Liberian people are the ones who will determine whether a political party is well-intentioned or not by virtue of their political manifesto, their platform, and whatever you call it. Democracy should be free and fair. But when you begin to impose and bring about restriction, then we are not having political party based on free idea or democracy, but rather they are suggesting what we refer to as plutocracy. That is power by the elite. So if you are not part of the elite, then power is not for you. Then what message are you sending out? You are sending a message, a signal to the marketeers who are struggling down water side in Radical Market and other places to send their children to school, you are sending a signal to them that your children belong beneath and will never rise because we will not give them the opportunity to rise. So, for example, you may have an intelligent individual who is a civil servant, and you all know majority of our civil servants are making salary not more than $200. So, if that guy is very intelligent, he has paid his way into education, but because he lacks the financial capacity, they are saying he cannot rise to political height because he does not have the finance. When you do that, you are setting a pace for politicians to now depend on political godfathers who have the resources. And when you tap into political godfathers in order to ascend to political leadership, the danger in that is that you always remain loyal to your political godfather, and they begin to call the shots behind the line. And at the end of the day, people say, but the government is not getting anywhere because you are creating the space for only the political elite to remain in power. And that is very, very dangerous for our country. We must have a system where, according to our constitution, everyone should be free to contest once you reach the electoral age. You have the required property as laid down in the constitution, at least 25,000 above property, but not for registration. When you do that, you are setting a dangerous pace for the country to continue to fail because those in power will be looking up to their political godfathers who are supporting them. Then you know what will happen? Drugs dealers who want to see drugs come into the country will now sponsor politicians who will get into power to protect them. And what you try to curtail in the country will not be curtailed, but rather you see the vices escalating in our country. And that we should fight against.
So, you listen to some Liberians, they tell you, members of the legislature, they say, are taking huge salaries. The office of the president has a budget in the millions. The office of the vice president, the same thing, the pro tem, the speaker, the deputy speaker, members of the legislature, their salary, and all of that, look at that and say, what does it take for someone who wants to occupy these positions? For example, the presidency paying $15,000 to register, the vice president $10,000, the senator $5,000, representative seat $3,000. What is wrong with this?
So many things are wrong with it because you are setting the stage to deny a good number of the population from venturing into politics. By just setting that bracket, you are denying them. And that's why I gave you the example of civil servant who makes less than $200. When will he raise 15,000 to register in order to run? When will he raise 3,000? And when you do that, as I said earlier, you are limiting political power to a selected few. And these were things that brought about the civil conflict we went through. Because you exclude majority of the people because you set brackets that they cannot extend beyond. And therefore, the next thing they think about is insurrection. And we don't want that in this country, so we should allow the process to be free. If you are setting standard, let it be based on a proportion of the population. How many people in our population can afford 15,000 to run for political office? How many can afford 3,000 to run for political office? When you do that, you are trying to limit the office to the highest bidder. And that is what we call plutocracy, leadership by the wealthy. And we don't want that in this country. When people struggle and go to school and acquire ideas, and they want to lend their idea to their country by aspiring for political office, they should be free to do so because democracy is a competition of ideas and not competition of the one with the fattest bank account or the one with the heaviest wallet.
But if you can use 50, 60 to 70,000 to campaign, why can't you use $10,000 to register?
That is a different idea. That is a different idea because when people buy your political vision, other people will come and join you. and you can raise money for your political activities.
Okay.
But to raise the bar as it relates to financial aspect for registration, that should not be.
Okay. So another critical point again is about this 2% electoral threshold that says that political party who will not reach at least 2% of the vote or have at least one seat or win one seat in the election in the legislature should not maintain the right to run in the next election. What do you say about that?
And these are restrictions we continue to talk about. And so, as I said earlier, the elite are creating bottlenecks to suppress other politicians. How can you say just by attempting in the first election, you must get more than 2%? It is not possible, because the people are going to vote for you based on scrutinizing you, knowing who you are, knowing what vision you are postulating, and all of those. Let me give you our experience. We apply to register our political party since 2022. NEC has been delaying our registration. And when you read one letter, it takes 6 months to even respond to you. At the end of the day, after applying in 2021, we applied. We got finally registered or certificated to perform political activities or to engage in political activities in May 30, 2023, election year. 4 months to election. Pray tell me, what can you do in 4 months to get 2%? You know it is impossible. More than that, in May, we are almost at the heart of the rainy season. And at the time, the entire southeast and many parts of our country were cut off. How do you go around the country to canvass to be able to achieve more than 2%? You know it was impossible. But let me tell you something. Even some political parties who have been in existence for more than 20 years, we got more votes than some of them. That tells you that how we have sufficient opportunity, we have gone even beyond the 2% threshold. But on the other hand, as I said earlier, people make laws in this country to favor themselves and suppress others. You can't do that. Just on the first shot, you say the man should get 2%. But when you do that also, you are creating legislation to circumvent the Constitution. The Constitution in Article 77 made it very plain that everyone should have the freedom to participate. And then you are creating laws to circumvent that portion of the Constitution because you want to exclude other people in order to perpetuate yourself in power. Of course, that's not going to work. We are going to challenge it before the court at the appointed time.
But let's look at some of the justifications. They talk about, crowding the political playing field, making the ballot papers long, confusing voters. They talk about it will encourage what they call briefcase political parties. Anybody, you just establish, political party over time, and the numbers. They don't win seats. They don't get at least 5. At least talk about the 2%, 3%. Like, for example, I understand you're justifying that your party came into the elections late. You got 0.35%. What do you make of these justifications?
Those justifications are illegal, number one. Number two, they are unfounded because you know why? When people try to perpetuate themselves in power, they always denigrate the others. And they set bottlenecks in order to prevent others from rising. Why would you call other parties plastic their political party? Or what do you mean it will confuse the Liberian people? It is not going to confuse the Liberian people. Why do you think out of 20 political candidates that contested in the 2023 elections, the Liberian people overwhelmingly voted 2 political parties? You think they were confused? No, they were not confused. The people know exactly who they want. If the ballot paper is going to be so long because there are too many candidates, what is wrong with that? That shows that there is democracy being practiced in the country. But let me tell you something. At the end of the day, the people know exactly who they want. They are never confused. And that's why you see we have windows at the end of every election. And you see the people voting in such a way that they are leaning to one or two political parties at a particular time. But let me tell you something. Over a period of time, those who were favored will run out of favor. Because when the people put their trust and confidence in you, and at the end of the day, they find out that you cannot lead, they will look for an alternative. And these so-called elite are trying to prevent that alternative. They want to become the only ones, and which is wrong, which is illegal. We should have a free and fair play in our democracy and free competition of ideas.
Okay. Yes, you have very strong points on this particular electoral law reform. So another issue we will talk about away from that is the recent decision. It was becoming controversial. I don't know whether it's still controversial until we had the speaker's media advisor here recently who provided some clarity on the setting of new threshold for new electoral districts. Have you been following that?
To some extent.
Okay. So what do you make of that decision? Like, of course, the Constitution gives the legislature the right to set a threshold and refer to the National Elections Commission to do the reapportionment of new district based on validated census result, which was done with the 2022 census in 2024. So the House is coming up, but the style of threshold they are setting, it's not like number to say, for example, we agree that one district will carry 60,000, for example. That means across the country, each district at least 60,000 or number closer to that. But they are saying they call it tier-based threshold, where setting a amount of people that they say from 1 to is it? Let me get the number correctly, but it's set it by numbers. Okay, so I mean, let's hear you clearly first on that decision, and then I will bring the numbers out.
What the Constitution is about must be performed. That is a clear constitutional requirement, and we must so do.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, we have to be very careful. That's what we are talking about. Constitutional reform. Is it appropriate? Is it necessary? Is it of a necessity to have that now? Look at our developmental activity. Look at the economics of it. What do we benefit when we have too many people in the legislature representing us? And one thing you have to look at, there have been serious migration to urban area.
Yeah.
And when you look at the rural area, many of those areas are empty. So if we must apply the Constitution, then we must apply it to the letter. Where there are huge population, additional seats should be created based on the number that, or the threshold that is set. But then at the same time, where the reduction in population, the seats should be taken away. Because they have some people who are representing districts that are empty. So some people are representing districts that have less people than the threshold, then they should lose it. So if we want to follow the Constitution, let's follow it to the letter. Those districts that do not have the required threshold should lose it. Okay. And those with the population should gain it. Yes.
Okay, so that is your take on that. This 19.2 drug investigation. I know people have been sent to court, and you lawyers sometimes, know how to look at some of these issues. People are concerned about confidence in the system to have an outcome. I know you lawyers say conviction is also an outcome, acquittal is an outcome of a judicial process. But what do you make of this massive drug bust?
Well, you see, that matter is under serious investigation, The matter has already gone to court, so we lawyers are careful of making statements or rendering opinions on matters that are already before the court that we call sub judice.
Okay.
But let me say this. The way we carry out our activities in this country is unbecoming.
Okay.
The government is investigating a situation. And people are pressurizing the security forces. You got to call names. You have been investigating for this number of time. We need to know the amount of suspect you have had. You have people of interest who want to know them. You see, investigation has procedures. When you give information that you shouldn't give up, you only alert those major proponents of the act. By that I mean those major corporates. You alert them before time, and if you're not careful, they flee the country before you get to the conclusion of your investigation. The security forces should be allowed to carry out their investigation properly. They should not be under duress. They should not be under compulsion to come up with names, with information. Because, you see, the legal process, especially in the criminal area, the standard for conviction is very high. The standard is beyond a reasonable doubt. Meaning, in proving your case, just a single doubt can send the defendant free. You must be able to cross your T's and dot your I's. So you don't rush to arrest, you don't rush to court, because if your evidence is not solid enough, you will only go to court, and at the end of the day, you won't get the desired results. But I can understand that there are some political candidates who want to see the government fail so that tomorrow they will have the chance to come to power. Look, if you must come to power, if your coming to power was ordained by God, you will come. You don't have to blackmail the present government in order to buy your way into political power. Allow the security forces to have their time to do their investigation, do it very well, gather the evidence, name people who are suspect or people who should be charged, and so that when the prosecutors get to court, they will have sufficient evidence to convict. Other than that, you rush to court, and at the end of the day, you cannot prove your case, and those very people will walk away free. Then at the end of the day, we castigate the security forces that they didn't do a good job. But we forget to know that we hurry them, we pressure them, and we did everything to get them to come to court prematurely, and then we expect a better result. I think we should allow the security forces to do their jobs, and at the appropriate time, then we bring them out to court.
Okay. So you're listening to the OK Morning Rush here on OKFM 99.5. This is my name is Marka Davis, and my guest this morning is Councillor Luther Yoffie. He's the founding political leader and former standard bearer of the Liberia Rebuilding Party. So we will go to the line, but I want to ask him, people are criticizing Stand and other organizations who organized the Lead or Leave protest recently. Of course, this firearm issue came in between all of that. But protest has been what has been happening in this country for a very long time. When Tobar was in power, people protested. Other people, Ellen, George Weah, and now Boakai. Why? I mean, how do you think protest has helped? And why do you think people are also criticizing those who are organizing protests now?
And let me address this matter from this perspective. There is nothing wrong with protesting. Okay. Our Constitution has provided the vehicle for people to protest when they are dissatisfied, except that the Constitution has made it plain that your gathering should be peaceful. And that is what we should pray for. It is not how many times people protest, but the manner and form of the protest. Once the protest is peaceful, and they are trying to send a message that is genuine to their government, then so be it. Whether it is 2 times, whether it is 10 times, once it is peaceful, so be it. So people should not criticize other people for having a protest. Because you see, you cannot whip people who are in government for wrongdoings. When people are dissatisfied, that's how they vent out their dissatisfaction. They protest to express their indifference. And no one should go against anyone for protesting. I will only go against you when the protest is disorganized, unruly, and go out of hand. But once you remain in the confines of the law, I will applaud you.
Okay. So call on 0777 700 995, 0555 995 995. These are numbers you can call to participate on the show this morning. 0777 700 995, 0555 995 995. So let's take the first caller right here. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. Go ahead.
Okay, good morning to your guest, Mr. Let's not take very much you said it all, but we have to contribute at our. With the threshold you just spoke about, we against the one the husband another house is to act another until something on the Liberian people. But with the election registration agreement, my brother, this is the problem we have in the country. America there, they can't just take ordinary for playing fee, and ordinary men for playing fee and put them in their house. When will they get rich before they start thinking about the country? So if you get money before you register, you will concentrate about the country. So if you have the money, register. It's not about denying poor men position before you get in the government money where you send is not for poor men alone. Poor men must be adequate to take leadership. Okay, and the protest you talk about, it is good. It is constitutional. But the intention you're going with, that was for it. The brothers saw gun, they say they took gun from somebody, but they never show up when they arrested the person, when they were fighting over the gun, they show it and the camera all over. So then you go and tell the government where you get the government. You know, you say something, you say it's the government. Don't track them down because you want to power. I love that. You are our true patriot. Do that tomorrow when you get in power, they will talk about you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's go for this. Good morning.
Good morning, Marka, and good morning to the Leonard Counselor in studio who has articulated very well.
Okay.
As usual, my name is Kegwan Ega Gongpaklo Ashawa Boza, a son of Blaise Opie, permanently based in Bosorano. And I'm joining you from 540.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to speak to the question you asked the councillor concerning this new seat that the House of Legislature is trying to apportion to various counties. Are we ready financially as a country to accommodate those new seats that are being apportioned, wherewith the legislature has set the threshold and recommended to the National Election Commission? As a country with a level of difficulties that is being created in this country on a daily basis, the time that Liberia can be economically strangulated, that's when we can bring in more issues that will jeopardize the country's economy.
So again, sometimes we say, "Oh yes, let's respect the rule of law," and we know the biggest law in the country is the Constitution. And the Constitution says, after census, we should use that census result to reset the population by districts, for fair representation. Why do people think that because maybe quote unquote, the country is high, we don't have money, so should we overlook the Constitution?
No, that's not what I'm saying, Naka.
But if you continue to say it is not timely, it's important, then why are you saying?
No, this is my point, right? While it is true that the Constitution made it very clear that they're supposed to set threshold after every census conducted, they should look at the economy in terms of balancing You understand? That's my point. And the second issue I want to speak for, it has to do with this protest. The just ended protest that was, conducted by Moruba Molu, the former chairman. Look, Marka, Moruba Molu has his constitutional right to protest. And he must do that at any time he wants. On the other hand, Molu then have no moral in this country to be protesting against sitting government. When he himself has just come from luxuriating in the pleasure of a...
But anyway, the main party were in power, people were protesting against them too?
Yeah, people were protesting. We know about the June 7 protest here in 2019. But Moru there, at what point in time did he get to realize, after coming from 6 years government as a sitting chairman, that when you entered in his face, one of the cars there, your hand can even fit on top of a marker, that he will come to know that the Liberian people are suffering. When did he get to realize that?
Okay.
People should stop joking with the Liberian people.
All right. Thank you. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. Go ahead.
Yes, my name is Marka David. Yeah, my channel go to the process, man. So they put telling all that they are raising gun for someone. So nobody around for on camera say I didn't for see that people I'm for the I did, man. You taking government property for someone. The police will be fighting and say, but more they taking from policemen. So the policemen are in the fighting and say,
Okay. Good morning. Yes, morning.
Thank you very much. Eddie Johnson, I'll call you from Town.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, Marka, one of the arguments I hate to hear when some of the Unity Party participants call on the radio, talking about why Molu was party chairman for CDC, and now he knows that brain people suffering. Joseph Baga, who's the president, he saved the country for money for the some year. He served at 12 years as president. When they left power 2017, he never took part in protest in the country. That argument is baseless. Every Liberian have the right, whether you work in government or you didn't work in government, you have the right. When you feel agree with the government, you can protest. So that argument, a lazy argument, you're Unity Party people. Don't forget about that other argument.
Okay.
Most of the people that you're getting government today, they protest in the country. They were in government before. When they left from government, they protest.
All right.
Argument, you're that lazy argument.
Okay. Thank you.
For the lawmakers, let me talk to the council. For the lawmakers, the only time they know that, they won't they will implement the constitution when they know that it's in their favor. When time they can break the, you know how many times they break the constitution? When the Supreme Court gave ruling, they follow it, the ruling. How they should remove the speaker? The Supreme Court, they all gave a ruling, they follow that ruling. And now they know that they won't follow the constitution because they won't create more seats to protect their own seat, 2029. Let us start playing with the brain pool. When they finish violating the constitution, then the next day they can say, yeah, we won't implement the constitution. You know you won't implement the constitution when the Supreme Court get ruling, you don't have bye-bye. Just stop that joking in the country, man.
Okay. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Brother Marka.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Abu Shabi. I'm calling from Invi. I'm in Kashi area.
Go ahead, Abu.
When all the Unity Party people that asking questions, what are all the rescue of the gun, let my own line. Let me tell you now, if.
But why are you shifting the whole conversation to the protest and gun business?
Yeah, but the police are commit Moro now. So let me tell them. The police now, the police are not charging for Moro. They cannot charge Moro because the final they have to deal with their own police. You know, because if you an officer, then you came with pre-quel ammo protector because you should be, let's say, identified with your uniform. Okay? So more than commit, and will not be charged, and will be free. So I'm just telling you.
Okay, so
I'll stop the dollar.
all right, I will just take just two more, and then I will just take two more, then we'll go to council. In line with this same electoral reform council want to comment on our gender 30% gender parity issue. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead.
This is Khaled Bagre calling from
You are sounding very low.
This is Khaled Bagre calling from Central Matali.
Okay, go ahead.
Alright, I got problem with two major ones. Why in Liberia we don't to do the rebel thing? We got people like here today they see lot because they see lot of people fighting for war and economic transport. They don't have time for that. They get time to another nation and will be able to convert the Liberian people. Now, we come here, I think the very people who just called in, they should listen to the press release on the police RD. That they go on mobile model talk the police go because all the guns are serious number on it. So when they even call for the conference and they have the press release, they should look at it. We got many things in Nigeria right now. You know, the other African country will not develop. Over there, the same that we got to that even trust that. They have some criminal actors that want that will be able to push out there to refund our country. We got where economic transport, they see lawyers and say that, so they get out to push it. But because we get me to take money from people to buy me, to say, yeah, let's establish another department that will be able for electoral district, that people will be able to get 500 presidents. The meeting that we go to people is where economic transport. We don't get time for, we don't enforce it. We don't get nothing for that, but we that will not benefit us. We get our people that are left on the place. So that is sometimes that we're going to go into or go around the just point that we really less they say. Directly, nothing else we got to, what they will benefit us.
Okay. Council? Yeah, let's hear you.
What? Well, I was expecting some questions, but unfortunately we didn't get questions. So it means that the people are following, and probably they are in satisfaction with the comments that we made. Yeah, but you said something about the 30% gender participation. Why do we need that? As I said earlier, we keep creating bottlenecks in our electoral activities. Democracy is a competition of ideas, and it should not be by legislation or compulsion. Today we are talking about 30% gender participation, and we are making it compulsory. We didn't have 30% gender participation, making it compulsory for Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to win election as President of the Republic of Liberia. We didn't have what we call 30% compulsion when even the former Vice President, Madam Joy Howard Taylor, who became two-time Senator of Bon County, we didn't need 30%. And even when she became Vice President of the Republic, there was no 30%. The point I'm trying to make, my brother, democracy should be about choice. You don't force people on ballot paper because you want to strangulate younger political parties because they may not be able to acquire the number. But more than that, you are creating a scenario where you will force political parties to just grab anyone who is unprepared and just put on political party listing because you want to contest an election, which is very, very wrong. Today, we're trying to legislate 30% for women. And we're not looking at the danger we are creating. Now, let me highlight some of those dangers. Today, 30%, pretty soon, the disabled will come up and say, we too, we need 30% because those in the legislature are not properly representing us. They don't know how we feel. They don't know the pains we go through. So we want 30% representation. And the result of that would be a bucking nation of electoral seats based on physical ability. And we need to be careful. Pretty soon, the young people are going to come up. We are not properly represented. We need 30% legislation to ensure that young people are in the legislature. And there is also a risk of that. It will be a race that is based on the demographic of age. Later on, tribal groups will come up. Maybe the Kwara group will come up and say, look, we are the largest tribe in the republic. Why if we have nobody in the legislature? In fact, we need 20% fee for Kwara people because we are the largest tribe in this country. And pretty soon, and because you are legislating, you run into a serious political conflict. Democracy should be free. When people are interested, they will get involved. When people are not interested, you don't force them into democracy or into electoral activity. Why should we legislate 30%? You see, when you begin to legislate, you create problems. And let me tell you another thing. One group of people we should be careful with in this country are the people in our house of legislature. Because you know why? They do everything in their favor. And that's wickedness that I look at. For example, they make laws that will only benefit themselves. They came up with something called code of conduct. But they say government officials should not use their cars for canvassing. Government officials who intend to contest any electoral seat should resign 2 years prior to the election. But what about themselves? No, they don't have to resign. They can even remain in office and recontest. How you call that? Wickedness. They come up with legislation and depreciate new vehicles in the span of 3 years. I told people always, I bought a used car that I've been using for more than 7 years. A used car. In government, they buy brand new vehicles and they depreciate them within the span of 3 years. So each lawmaker in the space of 6 years will have 2 brand new vehicles, not less than 45,000. That is sheer wickedness. Because you know why? The resources of this country is being divided among few people, while the majority of the people are lurking in abject poverty. More than that, look at their salaries. Besides the huge salary that they gave themselves, then they get something they call gas slaves. Then they got housing allowances. How about the poor man? Then for the civil servant, no. Look, under the Liberal Rebuilding Party, that would never happen. Before you run on the ticket of the Liberal Rebuilding Party, we are going to come up with a listing and things you must commit to. Number one, we will have a national program where we are going to reduce the salary of the elite, beginning with the president and coming down, so as to give room to the civil servant to have some raises in their salaries. How can you have people making $7,000 and they're getting gas slips and they're getting allowances and they're getting other benefits, when the people who are making less than $200 cannot get gas slips, cannot get all these benefits? That is sheer wickedness. Under the Liberal Rebuilding Party, that would never happen. To run on our ticket, you must commit to reduction in salary. You must commit to no more gas slips. How can you make huge amount of money that will give you gas slip over it? No way. You will buy your own gas, because we want to create room for substantial development in this country.
Okay.
Pray for the Liberal Rebuilding Party and you will see proper changes in this country.
Council, thank you for coming. Councillor Luther Yoffe is former presidential candidate and leader of the Liberia Rebuilding Party. We're taking a short break and we'll have our next guest in here.
LBR.com exclusive on LBR.com.
Thinking that I will catch catfish, I went and bought 20 baskets and set every one of them. The next day when I went, I caught nothing. Nothing went in my basket. So my son told me, he said, look, Daddy, let's try the basket in the swamp. That for a coral and water there. Let's try our log there. I was very hesitant, but I followed the advice of my son and we set those baskets. The next day when we went, nothing but grippers we caught. So you see, the water I was depending on.
Of course, this is Professor Jones Dopo, the late. And I'm playing this song for Fatu Kamara, who is following the show from Abuja in Nigeria. She just sent a message, say I'm following the show from Abuja, Nigeria.
The water why I don't know. No cafe inside. But they put up behind your house, and you can catch some grip. Oh. The woman you had on, oh, she may not be your wife, but the one you are overlooking, she will be your everlasting partner. Yeah. The man you are looking, at, he may not be your husband, but the one you are overlooking, he will support you very well. Yeah. Good people hard to find. Good people hard to find. Good people hard to find. Oh, they are precious the time. When God you get one, you better hope fast to that person. Okay, people they plenty. They travel on the ground. Hey. If you don't take time to work on them, oh, you will sleep and hurt yourself. That ugly people, bad people. Whatever your home, no cabin inside, but the pata behind your house.
You can catch no gripper. Yeah, you know, the beautiful traditional Liberian song. I've been playing it these few days. I love it, you know. Yeah, I love it. You know, life is unpredictable. Sometimes, you know, certain things you think you can really, you know, get or maybe benefit from, or sometimes the unexpected can happen, you know. Yeah. Sometimes you can be, you know, hoping on something hugely, but something very close to you can be more important than that thing you're looking at far distance. But again, our guests are here. Thanks for rejoining us. To those of you who are just joining us again, we are entering the rubber bush today again. Yeah, we entering the rubber bush today again with the leadership of the National Rubber Brokers and Farmers Union of Liberia. Of course, the president, Mr. James Sekie, and the vice president, Mr. Stanley Sewolo, they are here this morning. Good morning, and how are you?
Good morning, Marka.
Michael, how are you? Thank you.
We are doing well.
Yeah, me by trying small. But it's great to see you people again.
Yeah.
How is the union?
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for having us. The union is doing great administratively, and it's just a matter, we usually run to your station to do some clarities when there are some disinformation spread about our sector, which is very cardinal to our livelihood and survivability in the national economy. So the union is doing great.
Okay. I mean, what prompted this return?
Okay, thank you. This return is prompted upon our colleagues, the honorable gentleman that you hosted in studio some part of last week.
Okay, you mean from the rubber development?
Rubber development and RPA.
And RPA.
Okay, yeah.
And today, Marka, I believe you in me, we didn't come to do more practical talking.
Okay.
We came to do the clarity on the record. That means we brought pieces of documentary evidence that we will be reading to the public for the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
And from there, we'll have more call time for the public to be the judge. And as you are fully aware, when those honorable gentlemen were in your studio, The public justify between the both groups, NAFO and the RDFI stroke RPA, because these two groups are one. And the public was able to do the judge, and you were the referee. But today, we are not coming here to come and practically talk. We want to just go on the record and read pieces of information to the public so that the public can be aware of what is happening in the rubber sector.
So what are you starting with?
I'm starting with, because our honorable gentleman asserted that we are not legal. We were banned, according to the RDFI board chairman, by the former administration of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
Okay.
But we debunked that in the strongest term. That is false and misleading. If the RDFI board chairman would say that we were banned, he has to produce the record. He has to produce the document for that.
I think you mentioned a year, 2013. What happened in 2013?
2013, there was an executive order, number 50. And the wording of that executive order number 50 was the executive order was being issued and then prohibiting the activities of the broker as relates to buying and selling.
Okay.
But remember, executive order under our executive law, its duration is 1 year. And that executive order also talk about the issue of theft, the issue of misuse, abuse, and illicit activities that was going on in the rubber sector. And then so those issues were being addressed. And going forward, they took a case.
Okay.
With us.
Tozo said something straight. So your point is, even if the executive order, 50, number 50 says, well, we place a halt on broker activities in the sector. Your point of reasoning is once that executive order expires, it means that what you want to call it, ban or restriction also die with the executive order.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And if say it cease the activities of broker as related to buying and selling.
Okay.
But it didn't say that it abolished the activities of brokers as related to buying and selling.
No.
Okay.
And it did not restrict, it didn't go into the union as an institution that the National Rural Brokers and Farmers Union of Liberia is banned, and which of course, I have credit for Madam Sirleaf. She knows very well that even the president cannot interfere into trade union matter. She knows very well.
Okay.
So the union was still operating with the government.
Okay.
And we had to wait for that executive order 50 to elapse. And under our law, executive law duration of 1 year. When it elapses, we keep on moving.
Okay.
Okay, so not to just waste your time, there are a lot of falsehood dispersed, but as I told you earlier, we are going on the record. RPAL was claiming that they are the legitimate authority taking over rubber farmers. That means including small rubber farmers and all. And that is not true. We have a record in our possession that we will want to read for the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
They took a case with us, with the National Rubber Brokers and Farmers Union of Liberia, November 13, 2010.
Okay.
And when Councillor Christina P. Tar was the Minister of Justice, and that case lasted for almost a year.
3 months.
I mean, okay, let's just say somewhere around 3 months. And now, 2011, May 12th, the Minister of Justice was able to come out with a ruling. And I read for the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
Our office
Republic of Liberia, Ministry of Justice, Ashimon and Center Streets, Monrovia, Liberia, Office of the Deputy Minister for for Administration and Public Safety. May 12, 2011, Mr. James W. Seiki, President, National Rubber Brokers and Farmers Union of Liberia, Monrovia, Liberia. Dear sir, we present our compliments and hereby inform you that predicated upon the complaint from the Rubber Planters Association of Liberia, RPAL, dated November 13, 2010, submitted to the Office of the Minister of Justice and Attorney General, Councilor Christina Peter, against the National Rubber Brokers and Farmers Union of Liberia, the Ministry of Justice conducted an investigation into the matter with the attendance of the parties and is pleased to inform you of its decision as follows.
Okay.
1. That the RPAL could not and did not present any evidence to justify the allegation made against the NAFO in its complaint. 2. That the two organizations are legal entities and their roles and functions are separate, distinct, and clearly defined, wherein the RPAL is to work with bigger rubber farmers operating on 100 acres of land and above, such as the Firestone Plantation, the Log, the SRC, the Wayala, and then why the NAFO was established basically to work with the small rubber farmers, which mean grassroots rubber farmers that are operating on rubber farms containing 99 acres of land and below. 3, that both organizations should work within their legally defined objectives and purposes, collaborate and cooperate to avoid conflicts, and coexist to enhance development and productivity in the sector. 4, henceforth, the Ministry of Justice will not condone any act of lawlessness in the rubber sector of Liberia from anyone or any of the parties that may cause problems for the farmers, the ordinary citizens, and the national economy. In view of the above information, the Ministry of Justice requests the two organizations to work in harmony for peace, stability, and productivity in the rubber sector and Liberia alike, wherein their within their individual scope of authority and operation as enshrined in their various legal documents establishing them. Kind regards, sincerely yours, Attorney Freddie R. Taylor, Deputy Minister for Administration and Public Safety. So if you saw, we told you that the RPAL is responsible, its membership starts from 100 acre land and above, according to this document, is because their case they raised against us at the Ministry of Justice. That was the reading, and it set the benchmark, it set the threshold between RPAL and us. And it came from the background as well. This is President Tubman's speech to them. You can see here, President William V.S. Tubman's speech to the Rubber Planters Association of Liberia, Monrovia, 14 March 1967. And I just want to read to you the short area that they're trying to dodge. President Tubman was very wise. In his wisdom of judgment, he advised them to include the native smallholder rubber farmers, and which they did not accept to do so. The president told them that your constitution provides that membership in your association be limited to farmers with a minimum of 100 acres of land planted, 100 acres of planted farm. This limitation, I am sure, is based on careful study and consideration, and it's intended to make the association more effective. Moreover, I think that since a large number of Liberian rubber farms are less than 100 acres, and the size of these holdings make their owners illegitimate or ineligible for membership, you might want to consider voluntarily sharing with them the privileges, benefits which belong to members of this association, which they did not accept to do so. That prompted us, our smallholder rubber farmers, March 24, 2001, to form ourselves into a union, style and name the National Rubber Brokers and Farmer Union of Liberia. It's a legal agricultural labor trade union organization operating under the laws of the Republic of Liberia and legal. And so to despair, the force who our DFI Honorable Board Chairman said that we were banned. So we are a legal entity and we are operating with our members in the border of 99 acres of land planted with rubber and below.
Okay. Mr. President, you want to say something to that?
Yes, just as he read, and Todman were already trying to unify the citizens of Liberia. This was during the periods of Todman unifications. It was during his unification agenda. And when they refused to accept the smallholder rubber farmers, President Todman too refused to sign the document that they've been claiming that they have an eye. They were enacted into law. It was upon that bydraft that Todman refused to sign the paper. And we have it here. You're going to read it. Our law provides that anything that is enacted into law shall be signed by the President of the Republic of Liberia and printed into a handbill. That's the law. And their leaflet that they've been operating with, it was through the 2010-2011 case when we went to Status Coast. And we were all requested to present our legal document because they will always say that we are not legal. We are not legal. And when these documents then came in, how we were able to capture what they brought.
You presented your own legal documents
we did.
At that hearing?
Yes.
Okay.
And at the same thing, we're going to do again, we are doing again to the national legislatures. We have already presented ours. So the paper that they're operating with, VPA, I want you to bring it out quick, not to waste your time. Let's go to section 6 of A and read it.
Thank you very much, National President. Section 6 of the act creating them says that an act to incorporate the Rubber Planters Association of Liberia, RPAL, and the section 6 of this act states that this act shall take effect immediately upon publication in handbills. Any law to the contrary notwithstanding, since February 14, 1966.
Okay, so thank you there. So now what we are looking for is the handbill. Because their document made it clear that act shall take effect immediately upon publication into handbill. And up to 2026, they had not been able to produce a handbill. Even when they told us to the Ministry of Justice, that same request was made. It was never presented. In recent time, again, when we went to the Ministry of Justice, the same request was made. It was never presented. When we went to the Ministry of Labor, the request was made. It was never presented. But this time, it's good that we are before the national legislatures, where the laws are made. So we will read the one for the committee, the specialized committee, that is currently conducting a hearing, between they and ourselves, to really make them to produce this handbill. Because this threat is too much. We were in order by law. We were in order by law. And it had not been a day for us to go anywhere to say negative thing about them. But wherever they go, even if something belongs to us, they will go and create a condition and incite people not to give it to us. And it has to do with the retrial project. 2017, it was established that funding coming into this country for smallholder farmers have not benefited smallholder farmers. This RPAL and her group will hijack it, even though it's intended for the smallholder farmers. But whenever the funding comes, they will hijack it. And it was our Ministry of Commerce, when we were in a conference, and they asked me to present on behalf of the smallholder rubber sector And I was clear because we were identifying leakages. And I told them that one of the major leakages we have in the sector is lack of improved planting materials for the smallholder farmer. Up to this time, about 90% of the smallholder rubber farmers lack access to improved planting materials. I'm talking about ball grafted rubber. So right there, the assistant minister who was sharing the meeting stopped me. He said, "Stop right there." And he asked the lady that was representing World Bank, said, "But you told me that every year you can bring money in this country." The lady said, "Yes." He said, "Who the money for?" The lady said, "The money for the smallholder rubber farmers." Then the minister turned around and asked me, he said, "But Mr. President, then why are you saying that 90% of your farmers lack access to improved planting material?" And I just make sure, I said, "Well, it is good that Mr. Roger Sherman, who is a former president of RPAL and a board member, is present. We have been hearing about money business in newspaper and over radio, but we are never seeing it, so your eyes in." And he was asked that day, he bent his hair. He said, when the people bring the money, they can take it and give it to the concession company, and they too, they can do their business with it. It was upon that backdrop that the lady came and asked, in fact, she gave me a call card, and they asked her to provide information on things that are affecting the farmer, and we did. And I might commend the World Bank, even though we are not really being able to access it the way it's supposed to be. So it was upon that backdrop that they decided not to restrict the funding that coming for smallholder farmers, for Liberia small rubber farmers. Unfortunately, when Minister Nuta came in, the very people that the people are running away from, they are escaping so that they can direct the smallholder rubber farmer funding directly to them. He came by and got in married with the RPAL, and we have a standing MOU with the Ministry of Agriculture through World Bank, a retrust through World Bank.
What our MOU says? What is it about?
We develop a concept to do rubber nursery for our smallholder farmer, and we accepted. Even for us to get the money, it was difficult. They were going there telling the people, "Don't get their money." But with all that, we fought it. We were able to establish 3 borewood gardens. In other words, we call it forest bush. One is in Nima, one in Grand Bassa, and we have one in Bombay. That was established 2023. 2024, we will have continued to establish what we call the rooftop nursery that we will use for multiplication. And by the time Minister Nuta came in quickly, they went there, they stepped only. We go on 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026 today. Those gardens are in the bush there. We're finding money for ourselves to underbrush to maintain it. And the project for 5 years is supposed to last 2027 next year. This is the reason why I am saying that we have an existing MOU with the government through the Ministry of Agriculture. Now, what he has done, the funding that we will have used to continue the project, he has diverted it to RPAL, which is not a smallholder rubber farmer organization. The very RPAL that the international partners are escaping from, not to get smallholder funding to, like what he has done. So I just try to make it clarity.
So with that arrangement, that new arrangement that you just mentioned, how do they intend to continue what you've been doing with that project? Are they doing a parallel project to what you initiated?
So what they have done, from what I'm hearing, is that they said they gave them the money to go do nursery for smallholder farmers. Okay. But that usurpation of function. And the minister is also trying to conscript our membership, forcibly taking the smallholder farmer to get them to RPAL. With all the reading that you listen to, it made it clear to you that the rubber sector in Liberia is divided into 2 sectors.
100 acres up.
100 acres up belong to RPAL. 99 acres down for NAFU, National Rubber Brokers and Farmers Union of Liberia. But what the minister have done is to take NAFU member and turn them over to RPAL. That's a serious violation under our law of Liberia when it comes to usurpation. A usurpation of function, that is not their function. The Ministry of Justice just get warning, you just listen to it. And they don't care. And in fact, I also heard from the chairman, RDFR, that day when they were here, He said that we are operating with article incorporation, and in fact, the minister can just scrap it out. The minister of Commerce and Agriculture can just scrap it out. It's unfortunate that the brothers will be so ignorant to the law of the Republic of Liberia. When it comes to institutions, one application was made and sent to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and it's approved by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs under our law. That institution is legal. But with all, we are not only operating with article of incorporation. After the article of incorporation, we apply to the Ministry of Labor. And it's difficult for the Ministry of Labor to just certificate you as a full-fledged trade union. That we have. Okay. We are certificated as a full-fledged trade union, and we are affiliating with other international organizations, and we are also protected under ILO Convention 87. That Liberia is a ratified member that is protected under Section 4600, Paragraph 1 of our Labor Practices Law of Liberia also. So this brother have violated everything. He doesn't care for the rules of law. So if you see that they were saying that the ministers should resign, there are plenty of things. So we will not talk much. We will be reading document from document. Then we open the land to the public for the public to be the judge.
Okay, so we gone 29 minutes, but they mentioned something about the number of farmers that you mentioned, about some 300,000, and they say I think 60,000. They say the number you are calling me that Liberia even has smallholder farmers than Africa Coast.
So Marka, they will not know because they are not part of the smallholder farmers. Even the statistic that we gave to you, unless if we do everything, smallholder farmers in Liberia, in the rubber sector, will be beyond the 300,000. You get me? You are not part of all. You don't help all. You don't know. In fact, there was some fallacy, something that I heard that they've been inviting, or you asked a very salient question. Have you ever invited them? He said, yeah, we've been. From the time I met over, the RDFR was established. RTFR have never extended one invitation to all. Let him show the memorandum. Let them can give you a copy of the memorandum. Because administratively, if you see a memorandum of any other document, any citation, the institution you serving that citation to will have to sign a return, right? Let him bring a return and show it. He has not done it. This guy, from the time he took over, all the thing they've been in is to fight. So if we're talking about calling on him to resign, he and the agriculture minister, to save the agriculture sector, that's one of the reasons. Because he's supposed to be working with an institution that's supposed to be a technical arm under the Ministry of Agriculture. That should be a governmental institution. But he has reduced it to private sector. You saw him sending with RPA man here that day. Then he had problem because we came to rebut them. We came to rebut them and they follow up. But why he didn't come as individual by himself? And he had to bring RPA. So that validates our argument that RDFR is no longer RDFR. It has become RPA because of where they came from. And it should either be repealed or he should resign.
So he mentioned that in his words, especially the RPL head who were here, that consultation, stakeholders engagement, when NAFO goes there, especially you show some arrogance to the agriculture minister. Has there been any time you went into a meeting cited by the agriculture minister and you show some arrogant posture?
No. Not at all. Not at all. The only thing I know, the agriculture minister have not invited all one day by himself. When you take over as an administrator, I think the best thing you do is to invite all the stakeholders, the key actors in our sector to know about them. But he's never, one day. We were the one that were trying to write him to see how we can sit and talk. And our first time sitting with him, the first word that came from his mouth that time was that, because that time, and the market that we access for the smallholder farmer, those items that bought their rubber remain here when Executive Order 124 came into being under the former President Joe Weah. So when President Boakai took over, we thought that there were going to be some relief. And in fact, he lied on our oath because the senator of Bon County, Senator Primoy, asked him during a confirmation that with the crisis in the rubber sector, when you take over, what are you going to do to address it? And he's on record. And he said that there is no need, no reason. The 124 does not make any sense. When I take over, I will talk to the president to remove it. But right after taking over, he went into bed with my own friend, Chetty. So when we went to that place that day to discuss with him that the people have their rubber on the ground and becoming hostile, and a lot of continuous at the free port of Morovia, accumulating storage fee, working from him up is that rubber Chetty will buy it. So he had problem with one of the exporters. I intervened and thought, and we all stood, we took pictures together, thinking that we would come back together to work. But from then on, the brother became a serious fighter now. You get me? The last conversation we ever had with him was when we went to the ministry and he was trying to take our farmers away to give it to RPA. I told him, no. Honorable Minister, with all due respect, we are a distinct entity. RPAL had never been for smallholder farmers. If you see poverty in this country, it's being created by RPAL. So our farmer, we can't give our farmer to RPAL. Myself, I'm a farmer.
How have they been creating poverty?
Anything that comes for the smallholder farmer, they will take it from the 60s. Not today, from the 60s. And all the executive order that you can think of that have caused the rubber sector to decline it from them, they can go for it. They try to set the farmer against the government. And currently, the one that they have yet done, you sat there, you listen to Toba Maluba. Yeah. When he said that, for me, I don't have interest, I never voted for this government. It's on record. We had a recording. You have it. The man said that he never voted for this government, so he doesn't have interest. So because you never voted for the government, you want to set the farmer against the government and make the government unpopular because you want the government to fail. Their young men will resign.
Well, let's talk about this supply chain disruption that you talk about. You accuse them of destroying Liberia's supply chain, rubber supply chain.
Yeah. Yes.
What do you mean by that?
So, Liberia, sometimes I can laugh at them when they sit and they try to compare Liberia with Ivory Coast, with Ghana. Don't do that because you are the cause of the problem. 2011, we did a study that led to developing a national export strategies in the country. Honor International Trade Center, RTC, in collaboration with the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. We did it for 3 years. And in developing the national export strategy, we were identifying leakages, addressing those leakages, so that we can be on par with those countries then that you're talking about. All did it at the same time. They were not part of it because our house started, they ran away. You get me? So after we are concluded in 2013, there was donor funding raised by President Sali, and she did extremely well. She put money in the rubber sector for this people. Those guys who was not part of the study, they used their influence when they grab the money from the government and say, oh, y'all get all the money. We're going to produce rubber material. 2013, exactly other 50 that you were talking about are how it came about, because they had promised the government that they were going to produce rubber material. They even used all the money to go to Sri Lanka and things. But it's laughable. You have not learned anything in the culture. You don't even know about the pillars. When we developed the thing, the rubber sector has 4 pillars. Pillars 1, that's the farmers. From pillars 1, we have pillar 2, the import provider. I'm talking about those people who trade in agrochemicals and equipment. They are part of it. Pillar 3, that's the service provider. The service provider is where the brokers from aggregators.
Okay.
Okay? Then the same Pedro 3 in the service provider, we also had the transporters.
Okay.
And the leads there, and now the less they in the production are the tappers. So all of these people had to be in the chain. The 4 pillar, that's the processor. The Firestone, the jetty, the lab, you need them. So under the pillars, it's inclusive for you to succeed in implementing the strategy. You must consider the 4 pillars and work with them. When we were doing this thing, RPAL ran away. Neither Firestone nor Larsen represented it to be part of it. But after we did it, when they came out with our executive order, under 4 pretense that they were going to produce rubber material here, they were going to create jobs, they were going to increase government revenue generation. There was nothing like that. Instead of even creating a job, they started redundant records. We know we have records on all those things. So just to quickly answer your question, they destroy the supply chain. As we speak, Firestone is still doing it. Right after they did that thing, Firestone told Waynesky and put it in the truck, they jump up to go usurp the functions of the aggregators. You get me? Right there, they destroy it. They also bought their truck, putting the transporter out of business. So now, what is happening in Africa Coast and Ghana? You can't talk about it because you destroy the chain. In Africa Coast, it's inclusive.
Yes, inclusive.
The people, as we speak, Africa Coast is producing rubber material out of heaviest bracing lamps. Ghana is doing the same. Even if it's not tire, they are doing rubber slippers, and they are doing gloves, they are doing some different things. But what are you doing here? You were never part of the study. You jump or you went, you mess it, you interpreting it outside down. Then every 5 minutes you say you want to compare yourself with Ghana and Africa. Is that not even shameful? That you're supposed to compare yourself with Ghana, Liberia. The first highest plantation, rubber plantation in the world. And Firestone. The second highest producing rubber country in the world, Liberia. Firestone then just coming, or Guinea then in the 90s they started coming. And Ghana, and then you want to compare yourself. They're supposed to be learning from you. But because you don't want to do anything straight here. So if you see we're becoming better, we're becoming sour, we're telling the government, they issue an executive order 161 for about it. That's it. And I know President Buakai will listen keenly, and officials of government and other citizens in this country who can understand where we intervene and stop this thing. Because the executive order have not done anything good. It is the executive order from 2013 to 2023 that got about 35% of the farm to be cut down, bring into charcoal, planting some different thing. You get me? So you can't, from 2013 to 2023, you are not able to even produce balloon. I'm not even talking about rubber band. Then you come and buy again, you come and produce rubber material. Let this market remain open. We are pushing for open market. And in fact, 2016 Competition Act abolished monopoly. And any practice around monopoly, any practice that is anti-competition has become a crime in this country. I hope that they will understand it well. Let the market remain open. I think what we need to do now is for government to work with all other international partners, that they redirect our funding that RPAL has to all, because I think they're doing it, they want to eat the money. They had they started eating it from the 60 and they stay on it and they behind it. So that we'll be able to develop, continue our nursery program, and plant more rubber, then people will not cry for rubber business.
The people said that the brokers, your advocacy is mostly because of the brokers. The brokers, the middlemen used to what they call smuggle rubber out of the country. So once the executive order say we should not send unprocessed rubber out of the country, it means that you will not be able to collect fees that you collect from small farmers and all of that.
No, I'm coming there. Thank you. Marka. The honorable gentleman, our DFI board chair, he asserted on that, that NAFO is sitting at the various checkpoint collecting money from farmers. Isn't that what they said? NAFO is not sitting at the checkpoint.
You say you're harassing farmers.
Yeah, we're harassing farmers and say no. The executive order that they pushed for in 2013, executive order number 50, some of the captions in there talk about the theft, as I told you earlier, the misuse, the abuse, and the illicit activities. So we went to the Ministry of Justice 2005, and the existence of the document is perpetual.
Okay.
And then the Ministry of Justice gave us an authorization to be at the checkpoint to make sure that rubber that permeating our system would be traceable. We might know the origin.
Okay.
That means to say our small farmers must be eradicated, that which we started. In fact, we must enumerate them, that which we've done. We have statistical data information on what all we tell you with documentary backings. And so, if you saw that we are at a checkpoint, we have our agent at a checkpoint.
Okay.
It's because of this mandate from the Ministry of Justice since 2005. And since we posted our agents at the various checkpoints in this country, the issue of theft is being curtailed. And you should understand that the issue of theft is national security matter. Even in the cycle of the government, we have theft going on.
Yes.
That they call embezzlement, that they call corruption in high court. So we all got to work together, and we told them, we all work together to address the issue of theft. They said they were not doing it. But we brought our own strategy because we are agroeconomists. We are strategists. And we learned that on our ITC. And so we address the issue. So if you go in the rubber sector right now, you will not be hearing about theft all over the place because we've addressed that issue. Before you go to the to go sell your one black plastic bag or couple, you might have an ID card.
Okay. Okay, so we said we wanted to give some time to people to call.
Yeah, yes.
So at least we have the 15 minutes we have to give it to them. Yeah. So call 07777000995. 0555995 is the number. Call and make your point. This thing is, we're hoping that we can reach a point of resolution so that all stakeholders within the industry can work together or play their respective roles within the sector. But let's take the first caller right here. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Marka.
Good morning.
Let me say good morning to...
This morning we should give time to the farmers to call and make their point on the issue. Let's go.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
you. But I don't really know farmer, bro. Thank you. I'm a farmer also. Thank you. This is Lawson Pine. And I'm from this city, Montserrat.
Okay.
Marka, the city guy has said it all. But here is my position. The executive order has not proven anything good in this country. And what is the intent of the executive order? They say they want to add value to our economy. The economy is for the people. Now, when you are taking a breath from the people, then what is the essence of the economy value? The Minister of Agriculture must step down. I was in the meeting last time with the lower house, the House Committee on Agriculture. The Minister make it clear that he was the one that advised the President to impose the executive order on our people. So the Minister was advising the President, and he needs to resign because the executive order is trying to undermine the agenda of the rescue. We came to power. We want one payroll, and the first payroll is agriculture. How will you be bringing noise in the agriculture sector? Do you think that you are somebody to her? The man is an opposition. Minister of Agriculture Nuta is an opposition for today because the noise is in the agriculture sector. There's no improvement. The executive order should be
maybe that one in the rubber sector now across the entire.
In the rubber sector, rubber has the most.
Maybe the rice people are doing okay.
Yes,
maybe other people.
Because the rubber sector is the only sector now that people are being engaged to. People say we don't know business.
Thank you.
But now we are trying to do business now. Get to impose ban on hold. Our farm is not for the government. We will not be coherent to get to jetty empire soon. Take it for the time.
Okay, let's take other people. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name? Where you join us from?
My name is Charles Buki calling from Nima.
From Nimba?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, first, thank you very much, and thanks to the studio guests. You know, in this country, if you always say the truth, people don't listen to you. And we have to say the fact for people to believe in us for this country to be built. The RDFI will organize specifically to regulate the rubber sector, but now they have become partial because the RPAL, the DNCA, they are not people that respect the smallholder rubber sector. How can you be a regulatory arm and take side with another or institution? The both institution is legal. NAFO is legal, RPA is legal. Not a day for national law brokers and common union to go studio to degrade RPA, RBFR. But you know, whether I listened to the RBFR president in the last time, I felt discouraged. They made the opposition. Where the president is maintaining such a person to damage the government plan. This minister is there. And also the agriculture minister is there. We are not looking for government job as a farmers. We take our own rubber. The property in question is not for government. The private property. So if this is case, in order, nobody should own property in a deal. We have all government that making this country a process. No executive order can go on this thing. When somebody private property, you put your executive order on, so you want to kill the citizens, then we see the ruler.
Okay. Thank you. Let's take other callers, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Let's take this person. Good morning.
Good morning, okay, let me say good morning to Omer Jinseki and the rest of the team in studio.
Where you call from, your name?
Thank you. My name is Ernest Wogabi Kopi. I do join you from Nimba District in Ebana Bidley.
Okay. Are you a rubber farmer?
Oh yeah, I'm a rubber farmer actually.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Let me first say applaud people for the show this morning. It is quite disheartening to have a responsible government and then to behave to the citizens that elected you this way. If I have done a very good company to work for, they will not be running for executive order all the time.
But why are you accusing a private company of running for executive order? And the government issue executive order?
Yes. They are happening on many occasions we have observed in this country. But every time people will come to power and then people in the agriculture sector will go and take bribery from the mother company that's supposed to be working with us good. And then to the extent that the president will even the executive order that is meant to be ended in August and join number into another number again. Look, let me tell you something, but there was something that was written in that agreement when the president passed that order. I was reading, and when the president was trying to, or back the order, certain thing I read said, okay, to add value to the rubber sector, employ 400 persons. Now, if you are talking about employing 400 persons, that this year you impose that executive order in the rubber sector, we got over 300,000 people around the country that are buying rubber right now. Then you want to eliminate 300,000 people from in business and bring employ 400 persons. What end does it make? We will appeal to the president to take that executive order down.
Okay.
We will appeal to the president to take that executive order down. But to just conclude in a 30-second time, I want to advise our lawmaker again. This is the oversight responsibility of the lawmaker. They have come to the oversight. Let none of them take bribery to compromise the interests of the Liberian people. Well, anyone who does it and anyone who picture will be spark into that issue, definitely will get at you. The local farmer will get at you to make sure that in as much that you don't want them to see them to prosper, and you yourself too will make sure we hammer like whatever you offer. Thank you all so much for the platform. Let me say thank you to you guys.
Oh, okay. Okay, that man is calling from my county. In Nimba. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, how are you?
Yes, we are good. Your name, where you join us from?
I joined you from Nima.
Oh.
I'm Johnson Dodo.
But how are you following? Okay, you watching the show live?
What?
You watching the show live?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Okay. I said thank you ever so much for the program. I want to say a very big thank you to the studio guests. But certain thing that have come to our mind is the minister of agriculture is serving as complete problem for this country as we are looking at it. I think what you said in your word, point to what the president just said in the studio now, that few times ago, the minister of agriculture said he now voted this government, so I think he came to campaign against this government. Because
I think it was the I think that the board chair of the RDFR. Yeah.
Yeah. If you can look at the minister, if you can look at the farmer who are in large number that voted this government, that supported the government from start to end as a minister, when you can come and say you now voted this government, so you don't want to know about them.
Oh, you still miss it. It was not the minister who said that. They are quoting the chairman of
Okay, the chairman of the RDFR.
Yeah.
If you can quote this, if you can say that kind of thing, then what really you want the anything to do? Meaning you're not in the favor of the Senate, and let's look at RPAL. RPAL operates from 100 acres up. And you are operating now, those are operating below 99 acres. They are taking our money every time. So they do not have accountability for the money. When they ask them, I think with the rubber farmers, we need to take them to task. We need to send them to Supreme Court for the money they have been taking for over 100 years. That is sending over. Because there's no accountability for the money they've been taking. Yeah, they are structured in the country. So
okay.
We vote for RPAL. What really they are giving us? They are not giving us some, they are not giving us nothing. But they take that money, they give a few of them. They have become a family thing. So
all right.
they can give to another family, they can give to another family. That's why they have been operating.
Okay, let's take another caller from this side. Thank you. Let's take this one. Good morning.
Marka, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to your student there. My name is Segu Fufana, friend to Lossi Pan. I'm calling from Do community.
Okay.
So I want to say to the whosoever that behind this thing, because I know our president will not be against the agriculture, because that's where he came from. Agriculture is the first pillar of our agenda. Arrest. So that executive order 161, I think President Baka, you got to see that.
166, right? Yeah.
You got to empower. So you got to empower your own, because we the librarian, I think Nuta, I think the man is against our agenda. You know, the government, I can say the extent of the government, people, the honor manner in the government, too much people that they now want to see the progress of the government. Even President Baka, God forbid, even if fail, God forbid, which he will not be. But now the agricultural sector is supposed to fail. Like the other men that fail in a full body, no. So I beg my president.
I beg you. What kind of politics is that?
Agriculture is our primary goal. So I beg you, that executive in the interest of our people, we will proceed the other country, the politicians, while I blame me. What are we making here?
Okay.
You level to fire school. Send the day and let you say what did they have done.
All right. Let's see this one. Good morning.
Yeah, how are you, boss man?
Yes, your name. Where you join us from?
Adama Kane to say what I saw. Nana Johnny from my spirit, Bamatan.
Okay.
What make a call? I'm a farmer and African law. If you can remember one time. You don't get empowerment. You don't get not working with agriculture minister, or you don't get for half of it to make fun. What about agriculture minister that empower all? But people in the government, I don't know what do him be wicked so. When President Baka pay all of you, why you more honor my government, my father government? Then some will stop with him. They don't make fun, none of the fun, even the criminal winning that they put their dead, they're eating the money, they're shopping all why are something all day? Why am making for my government to fail? But what I will never fail. Thank you very much. Are you helping me?
Okay. Okay. Drop the line. Let me take this one. Good morning.
Morning, Marka.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Edon Gongano from Broadview, from Nima Kante.
Okay.
Yeah, we are all very interested in the rubber issue here. The simplest way I would say it, the executive order here can empower our people, especially the small farmer, those that get small farm. You understand? When they pass the executive order, those are getting money that they fire soon, they lack, they jetty, they no longer go to our people to go buy their rubber. They will sit down and our people will transport the rubber to their place. When our people transport the rubber to their place, and then it will take 2 weeks, 3 weeks. The people will be waiting there to their facility.
It takes 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the people can get their money. But when the space is open where everybody is buying, the people will go to our people and again they will bring the raw price down. When the people go and wait for how long, they will bring the raw price down. For 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they will be waiting. That's the simplest way I can say it.
All right.
So the executive order here is not helping our people, Marka.
All right.
Serious note.
Thank you.
Not helping our people.
Thank you.
We agree that government want to bring in all facilities so that all people will work. But let them do it holistically when the people are prepared so they can do all those things. That's my contribution to that today's discussion this morning.
All right, thank you. We are out of time. Just 2 minutes left, so we'll just give it to the president, the vice president, to respond.
Okay, thank you. My president will close. We thank all of the callers. We told you, Marka, the debate that before the public is the judge. I think you heard all of the callers. You look at this photo. RPAL cannot tell me in the wisdom of their judgment that they can be able to supply rubber stump to smallholder farmers December 2nd, 2025? Are you kidding me? And we got 3 months, according to rubber culture,
for root development.
For root development. If you are giving, let me just say, these stakes to the farmers in December, when it will be planted and when the root will develop, and we got 3 months. So to prove to you that RPA is not all for good for the smallholder farmers, that's what we are saying. And with the issue about the tariff, we told you we are at a checkpoint to address the government concern of the tariff. The misuse, the abuse, the illicit activity, we are addressing it. And
Okay.
it is backed by regulation.
Okay.
So we want our government to have an inclusion so that all stakeholders can be together so that we can be able to drive our rubber sector and the national economy for the
Oh.
development of Liberia.
It is 10 o'clock, so...
So I just want to tell all the caller thank you. And I know they will come. But when they come, Marka, let them produce their hand bill before saying anything here.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so that's all the time we got. We'll be here tomorrow again with another edition of the show. My name is Marka Davis. Have yourself a wonderful